Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series. I am Nathanius, and I am joined by Cats. Now, I would just like to extend a great thanks. It's been really nice having you here. It's good to talk to you. Cats and I, we've got a storied history, and I just want you guys to know I'm really happy to be hanging out with them, and hopefully Paolo and I will find some time to go hit up the mall, and he can help me stop wearing the same commentary outfits that I've had for 5 years, because I just don't have that same sense of style.
Well, thank you, Nate. I have been burping Nate since he was a baby, back at the very old root house.
The good old days.
Where you like to sleep on the floor for some weird reason.
Because then I could get up next to my computer and play more.
He had a bed. I mean, we provided a bed. He just chose the floor.
Honestly, you guys had a really good carpet, and the AC worked better in the living room. So
that is a fact. Yeah, the AC only worked in the living room.
Was it you and Rob? You guys always make tacos as well. You guys made really good. You guys made really good tacos.
Yeah, once in a while we can do tacos for a show.
Yeah.
All right, we have a very epic matchup.
That's right. It's final match of Group B for babies. There you go. We're talking about burping. Group B for burping babies. There you go.
Love it.
It's an important process, honestly. It's you might laugh, but you literally needs to be done.
Oh, I know. You weren't a good caster until I started burping you.
No.
I know this much.
That is very true. As we are loaded in, start this one off on Thunderbird. Bottom right, we have the red Zerg player. He is TLO.
And in the top left, it is playing for Psystorm, the blue Terran player. It is Epic. About one, where's no H for Epic, huh?
No.
Ageless.
Timeless.
Timeless.
That's Terran in a nutshell right there. You're never too old or too young to cry like a baby when you play Terran. Cats.
Indeed.
That's a magical thing.
TLO has really been favoring this gas pool in every matchup all the time, it seems. He really likes his speedlings, and
it's like it's his Swiss Army knife build.
It's a just cause. I mean, like, it's good. It's good to get some value out of those Zerglings. Again, I'm not sure that this is the greatest map in the world for it.
You'd like to see him be greedier?
Yes, I would love to see greed on this map. It is so difficult for Terran, I feel like, to apply pressure because of the single ramp. So I think that you can get away with really greedy stuff on this map.
Oh, yeah, if you just build queens and you take the fast third, it's really hard to do anything.
Yeah, you make a spine if you want to be super safe, and that covers all of it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with your thought process, Cats.
Even
with mining one of the mineral patches out in the middle, still feels like it takes forever to get stuff across, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that Epic has consistently done that. I haven't seen that many Terran players do that, just like mine it on the way to the Zerg so that the Reaper arrives a little bit sooner, right?
Yep. Opening the door for your early scout, your early poke.
Indeed. Very important on a map so large, and it can really offset things, because if you're a player that's used to the timings here, you don't expect the Reaper for a little bit longer, and it will arrive now. Will force one of those drones to be morphed into most likely an extractor.
We've seen Epic pick off a drone in his earlier match today.
We sure have. The Queen is here. He has to run. Nice try by TLO.
Drone trying to block. It's a risky business there, saving that Reaper. Almost lost it. Imagine that. The drone that he wanted so desperately ends up being what kills that Reaper.
Oh,
almost poetic.
Poetic indeed. That would be poetic.
The ballad of the Reaper and the drone.
That would be a story for the ages. Now, Epic did beat TLO the last time that they played on this specific map.
That's right. This was the really sick good game for him. He walled off. He walled off the big ramp, and he built that wall. He's doing it in the same spot. He built the wall at the big ramp. He had the greedy third that he built on location as well behind his Hellions. So let's see if he does that. Let's see if he throws the Hellions away. And let's see if when he throws the Hellions away, TLO just builds 17 Banelings outside of his net.
Yeah,
that he
we'll
does
see.
nothing with because there's 2 tanks.
Yeah, we'll see. I doubt we'll see the same exact patterns. Did we see Liberators last time around from Epic? All right, then we're already switching it up, and I like it.
He went Banshee. He did the 2 Banshees last time.
Oh, he sure did, yeah.
Ooh.
And it didn't accomplish much of anything, huh?
Look at that, straight to 3 racks. No 3rd command center.
Ooh, and I like this. He's mixing it up. I mean, TLO is a very intelligent player, a player that is very capable of adaptation on the fly, and I think Epic is trying to offset this by kind of throwing a different curveball here.
Yeah. Yeah, some fools in the Twitch chat were questioning Dr. Dario. Someone said, does he really have a degree? Is he really a doctor? And like, when you play StarCraft for this long, yes. How many years is it for a doctorate, Cats?
I want to say like total from start to finish,
Yeah.
most on average, because they all vary.
Right.
I'd say 9 years, 10 years.
There you go. We're about to.
Absolutely.
We're
This
pretty
is-
much there with StarCraft too. We got quite a few PhDs in StarCraft.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And this is the PhD-est of them all.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, you think about it. TLO's mind moves so fast that with that big brain of his, that time kind of moves slower. So from his perspective, he's actually been playing StarCraft 2 for like 16 years.
Yeah, he's the only player that doesn't get slowed on Turbo Cruise.
Exactly.
He goes faster.
Yeah. It's like
He slows him.
he's like the Flash. Like everything else just appears to move slower to him.
Mm-hmm. So these Hellions are gonna slow down his creep, but not for long, of course. A momentary lapse for the Windwoosh.
So he does get a 3rd, and he still goes for the double eBay, and he gets it up before the evolution chambers, so he could still have that very well-timed upgrade setup. Not that he'd have a huge advantage, because the evolution chambers aren't super far behind, and he still hasn't started as 1-1, but this gives him a little bit of a faster initial oomph, because he'll get his first wave of Marines with Stim and the Medivacs out a little bit earlier. So the 3rd's not quite as fast, but I don't think that's a problem. He could do a lot here. The creep spread's only just now starting to push out from where the 4th is. So if he could get some pressure on the 4th, that would be huge.
Yeah, the rocks are still gonna be up for a little bit, but TLO has been very conscious of breaking those rocks whenever he needs to. And then, whoa!
I love
Mind
that.
blown.
We talk about the creep spread just starting to push out. Dr. Dario says, that's what I've got Overlords for.
Yeah, and actually pushes the Hellions into the creep spread. Like, those Hellions are so confused because it is only Dario that can make them choose to go on
Can
creep.
you believe someone questioned Dr. Dario?
It's outrageous.
Unbelievable. Inconceivable.
Indeed. 2 medevacs almost full, so perhaps a little bit of a... Oh, okay. The Liberator
Like
doing
this
the
a
proper
lot.
thing. Has been shift-clicked onto the 3rd base.
Ooh, if that gets away too, that's
Yeah, and this is huge. Oh, also undetected. The Wunderwunsch not paying attention fast enough and is gonna pay for it. Oh no, the drone's not running the right way. As they are gonna be cornered a
Banelings. He
little
gets the
bit.
Banelings.
He's so
Beautiful
good at that.
micro.
Epic has been fantastic at this. I'm not sure about moving on to the Queens instead of going back for some more drones, but Epic knows best. Ish.
I mean, he's going to burn all the energy out of the Queen, so he's got that going for him, which is nice. But
Yeah. Oh,
But you know what? I
what
guess
kills
if-
on that Liberator?
5.
Not bad.
Got 5 drones.
Not bad.
This is a stellar opening from Epic. He's ahead on workers. His armory, many Terrans are bad at this, but he gets the armory timed very well with his 1-1 finishing, and that's worth giving credit to. Man, I do love Dario using the Overlord pooping creep to accelerate his spreading process, because right as the tumors get planted here come the Marines and tanks.
Yeah, you were talking yesterday about how Future is the type of player that has a lot more than you expect. Epic is that guy for me. Like, Future, sure, kind of, but Epic has a lot of units all the time. So he's always ready. He's always on top of his macro. He's a stellar player, and this is a very evenly matched match.
Yeah, this push makes me a little nervous. I wish he had like 10 more Marines on the tanks, but the Mutas could try to flank them while the Queens push the drop back with the Zerglings. If he gets this hatchery though, that would be quite insane.
He will, and like you said, the energy had been depleted already off of those Queens. So that is going to be a huge pickoff as it equalizes the base count. The Mutas do not want to engage, and he still has to be very careful with his Mutas. Epic will target a couple of them. Those are very expensive units. The Marines will end up dying as the medevacs have receded, but TLO not quite capitalizing. Okay, regrouping a little bit, making sure that he has enough to lose less units in the process.
Yeah, at this point, there's really not much he can do to save those Marines, unfortunately. He does have the tanks behind the engineering base to help lock that down, but man, Cats, the 4th base gets killed. It's just now restarted. Epic has a 4th command center done. And if he just takes his army, moves that 4th base out and protects it, I mean, that's a fantastic position for a Terran.
Yeah.
You can't be happier. You've got a 4th going up. You got your 4th planting while the Zerg is rebuilding their 4th and getting a 5th. Yeah, no.
You make an expansion, then you defense it. It's a
Simple geometry.
Yeah, simple geometry. So, yeah, the Mutas are going to show up here. There's no Thor in production. These Mutas are going to have a little bit of free reign. On a map that's this spread, if you get enough Mutalisks, it can be very annoying for the Terran player to move around if there is not something like a Thor maybe and a medevac. But TLO has actually not made extra Mutalisks, and he is making an infestation pit. I wonder if we're going to see that fast hive again. The Vipers really didn't pan out for him last time around.
Yeah, not versus this composition, and certainly not on this map, but maybe he's got some different ideas this time. The 4th turning into the planetary, very nice. He's got drilling claws on the way, building a Thor and 2 Widow Mines at a time. He's already got the 2nd factory, and that looks fantastic. His 2-2's about to finish, and his 2-2 is going to be done significantly ahead of his opponent, but based on his current posture, he's not looking to make a big push, just maybe move some medevacs out.
Yeah, and there's the hive coming up now, or starting rather, as the infestation pit finishes. So I'm very curious as to what TLO is going to look to do. His creep spread has been stellar, and he has had to wrestle with Epic for it, as Epic has been contesting it from the start of the game. So it is very impressive that TLO is as far as he is. Thor will show up, and he
is... Clause is really
great,
important.
Great.
You do want to save that. Great pickoff. That's a fantastic pickoff.
Yeah, capitalizing on the ill-positioned factory, right? If you were to play TLO 20 times, you would never position your factory there anymore. Maybe a few hexes back.
You do not want it pointing out for the Mutalisks to grab, and the Banelings are going to come in, but it is off creep, so Epic's going to split. Doesn't lose too much.
Not too much. A little bit ambitious, but you can see like there's the extra factor of those path blockers. The medevacs tend to lag behind, so maybe the Banelings aren't seen until it's too late. And if you're wondering why not disengage, disengaging against ranged unit as a Zerg player will cost you. It will tax you. So we'll see what happens here. These Banelings are morphing not at a good time, and look at Epic all over the place right now. Infestors are being made, and I like that from TLO as he pushes forward, identifying that Epic is looking elsewhere. But will this be enough?
He's got the Marines splitting off creep now. The Infestor is lagging behind the Thor.
Oh,
Big Daddy Thor eats all those Banelings for Epic.
Yeah. Oh, but going up the ramp, and again, there's hardly any vision until the medevacs catch up with the bio army. So TLO getting a little bit more done with that high ground vision advantage.
You know, it's sick too, because if he had drilling claws, those mines could have done a lot more as well. That deny by TLO earlier is very, very important.
Indeed. He, however, lags a good 30 supply behind at the moment, so creep spread is the main thing that he has going for him, and it looks like Epic is looking to chisel down at least on one of the fronts, the one that he wants to attack, and now that it's cleared up until these annoying rocks, he is gonna look to make that his main point of contention, if you will.
Thor takes a distant shot towards the Mutalisks. +3 is going to be done soon for Epic. TLO just started his melee upgrade and just now beginning Adrenal Glands.
As well as yeah, and I'm not sure that he has the economy for that Ultralisk Cavern either.
No.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of rough. Epic already mixing in Marauders here and there. Looked like a better fungal, but Epic very quick to spread. And again, you don't want to be fighting off of creep, and I feel like TLO has done this a lot in this game, and there is upsides to fighting off of creep, like your opponent may not be expecting it, but when they take advantage of it every time, you kind of have to stop and just wait for them to spread on the purples.
Epic plays this map really well. I think he's going to be able to pick this one up. I don't see how he gets stopped now. He's maxed out. He's got a huge bank. He's ahead on upgrades.
Yeah.
And TLO reeling at 136 supply with not really anything in production. He's just got a couple fungals and a couple banelings. And Epic, well, we've seen his micro has been very good thus far.
Yeah, it's a nice attempt here from TLO. A little bit mistimed. You would want those units to arrive at the same time as the banelings so that they are a little bit more effective. But that was a Hail Mary. He was done. He knew it.
Yeah. And we've seen TLO do very well in WCS, but we talk about some of the players rising up, as gamers are wont to do. And Epic played really, really well.
He did.
He fell apart in the first series against TLO after that map. So it was very similar, and I wonder if we're going to get the same maps.
I mean, even then, it was a good series.
It was still,
yeah.
It was still good. I like that he doesn't go for the Banshees. I just don't. I feel like if you're getting attacked by something that the Banshees would help you with, I still feel like almost 100% of the time, there's still something else you can do, and you can get an advantage somewhere else. So I like that he went for the Liberator. It worked really well with his drop. Getting the three racks set up before he took the third base is beautiful. It worked really well.
Yeah. Now, I would love for Epic to go for something like Battlecruiser Opener on any map, really, especially because TLO has been going consistently for that very fast speed. It's very difficult to account for getting a fast speed and also producing many queens at the same time, right?
Right.
It's like you're diversifying your investment too much in a way where it's like, well, you're being safe on two different fronts. So Battlecruisers kind of could take advantage of that, I think. TLO hasn't been making too many queens.
I would love to see some Battlecruisers. I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah. We haven't seen it from Epic yet, though.
No, we haven't.
So we'll see if we see.
It is nice. It's nice to see something that I like to do, or like I guess for any StarCraft player, when you see a build that you're excited about or units that you get to do, and pros start using it more. Euthermal's games are really nice yesterday. I wish he had done his BC into mech versus Raynor. That was like the only complaint that I had, as I would have really enjoyed seeing that.
Yeah, it is indeed. Very fun.
King's Cove is map 2.
And the champion of the second place will be crowned on King's Cove.
Pog.
So who do you think is going to take the series? I think most people would have said TLO before. Now he lags. He trails behind 0-1.
Yeah, but I honestly thought that Epic dominated him on Thunderbird the last time around, and then TLO did claw it back. He won the next 2 maps, so...
Yeah. And I feel like as much as Thunderbird seems like a very surgy map, Epic, it kind of plays to Epic's strengths because he is a very macro-oriented player.
Yeah.
And TLO has been playing very safe, which is not what I think the best approach on a map like Thunderbird, right?
No, I totally agree.
So,
which is interesting to me. I don't think TLO got the Baneling Nest as fast this time.
Oh, sure.
Because one of the things that I was thinking about was how he went for the Baneling Nest kind of early in all 3 maps against Epic at first, and I think that he was expecting Epic to do something like a Hellbat attack, but now he hasn't. And I mean, I might be wrong, but I feel like I didn't notice as fast of a Baneling Nest. I'm like, maybe now Epic has kind of given him this sense of comfort in one way, where he's like, well, maybe Speedling Queen is all I need, and that could be what makes Epic do more of an all-in type build for either this game or the final one.
We'll see how conscious of his potential he is here. I mean, he did switch it up on the first map, and that is a good sign, I think, for that he is actively thinking about this series going into it. Yeah. So we'll see if he is able to accomplish something. But first, in the top left-hand side of the map, playing as the Red Zerg, it is TLO for Team Liquid. One of the most legendary teams to be born in StarCraft.
I know that I'm German, but now I'm all about the Putin. Oh, Dario. In the bottom right, his opponent, the blue American Terran. He is epic.
He sure is. Looking to improve on that top 8 Philadelphia. I would say that this result in itself would be worthy of overtaking that in the next his next graphic.
Fear Dragon knows everything about every American player that's ever played.
Indeed, he does.
And I'm going to try and channel some Fear Dragon here, but I believe the last time we talked about Epic, he told me that in that top 8, he actually, on one of those tournaments, he was one of the guys that took a series. It was either him or Future. Oh, now I'm nervous to see this. I'm nervous. I was thinking about players that he beat, and I'm like, it might have been Future that actually beat.
Well, I'll tell you what, he has beat everyone on the ladder.
Yeah.
So
Epic's good. He's very good at the video game, you could say.
Very much so.
So I want to see a little shake-up.
I'll tell you what I
He's
want.
only shown by
what I really, really want.
So tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
I want to. I want to.
You really,
I want to.
Really, really, really want to.
I don't know the next line, actually.
Zig-a-zig!
Ah.
It's okay.
My bad.
It's okay. It's all good. The Reaper's gonna... He's got the ICB patrolling at the 3rd. I like that. And then the Reaper is going to go straight over to the natural, trying to delay the third base if he can. Those two Lings are going. But he really just wants to create the space, right?
Indeed. So very good, especially because on this particular map, that's the only third that you can take or that you want.
Yes.
So very well done with the SCV.
He pushes the SCV away now, but he didn't bring the drone so that he could take it before the Reaper showed back.
Yeah, and the Ling is trying to lead the Reaper astray. I would not bite. I would go back and deny the third.
Go back.
Go back.
Fast and Furious. Pog. Nope.
Outsmart it. Okay. Well,
Okay.
Well, that's a little bit of a shame. I mean, the Ling has no reason to run the other way unless he's baiting for the drone to take that third, right? So Epic not really thinking as clearly as perhaps he could have or should have in that situation, because TLO is not going to send a random pair of Lings for no good reason, right?
Right, right.
Of course, he manages to take that third.
Right on. You're right on.
Indeed, indeed. And there is a couple of Hellions coming out. Nothing out of the ordinary. A Tech Lab being added as well. We'll see if it swaps onto the starport.
Yes. We've got the Hellions coming out. The starport is done. Go ahead. Build your Cloak Banshees. Whatever.
Oh well. Well, this is not a bad not a bad map of all maps for Cloak Banshees. There's some airspace in the back. It's
Every
not
map's
particularly
bad
long.
for Cloak
Yeah.
Banshees. But I get what you're saying. It's not a bad map for air units.
Yeah.
You can fly them all around pretty safely around the edges of the map here. Which was, we got to see that really cool lib range build by Future.
We sure did. And these Lings are gonna chase the Hellions out.
Okay, you know what? Now I'm happy because he's not getting Cloak. So this is like a safety Banshee. It's like putting on a seatbelt when you're playing macro. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and it's going to show it to the Overlord as well, so it might force out some spores regardless, and it might force a bigger reaction maybe than TLO needs. Steam now in production.
What bothers me about this is I want to see a Viking. Like, there's the Overlord parked by his base. There's another one around the map. Like, it's kind of funny how Zergs adjust with the Overlord memery. Yeah, look at that, 3 spores.
Yep.
Getting him to build 3 spores for a one non-Cloak Banshee, I see this as an absolute win.
I would say so too, and it's because he's shown Cloak Banshees before, so he's mindful of what he's done, what he hasn't done. Both players are playing a good game as far as like the blind strategy portion is concerned, right? Like being very mindful of what keeping track of what they've done, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been really good. Hellions are going to attack a queen, do a little bit of poking.
Yeah, very dangerous to go behind that ramp. There is no circling, so had they actually run in, that could have been the 2-0 right there. He would have killed a lot of drones, but it's very difficult to make that decision. If there is as many as 4 circlings, your Hellions will struggle to run by.
Right. So Lair's going to be finishing soon, and interesting things to point out. We talked about the Baneling nest. He did get it pretty early again at this game. He built it at like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So he was being very conscious of, and he's been being very conscious of the potential of getting hit by a fast Hellbat.
Yeah, and this I mean, there is sort of a tell for Hellbats, which is you're trying to keep your Hellions alive, right? And Epic has been doing that, so you can't fault them for that, I think,
Yeah.
TLO.
Is it a Hellbat push, or does he just not want to waste his Hellion?
I think he just doesn't want to waste them. I think he's just giving him credit, and he has picked off so many Lings with them, so they've already gotten plenty of damage done. And this is not the best Hellion run-by map anyway. You have to go up a ramp no matter where you go.
Yeah. What has surprised me is that he's still, at some point, always throwing the Hellions away. Like, he has every game, he hasn't kept them.
Not this time. He's gonna have an armory, so I think he will use Hellbats eventually for
See,
a
that's what
push.
I'm hoping for, because he hasn't done it in any of the games.
He has to do it here. I mean, there's medevacs as well.
Almost every game, if he has the Hellions alive, once his stim is done, he just suicides them. But I'm like, no, I think you should keep them.
He's certain.
And then, yeah, combine it. Look at this push. The Banshee, the 3 tanks.
I love it. It's very difficult to stop. And look at this positioning as well. Tanks on the high ground onto this 4th base, anticipating that this is the most common 4th base. TLO trying to pounce before he is fully set up.
Oh, beautiful hits.
Oh, indeed.
Send that Banshee home.
Yeah, and I actually hate banelings against tanks early on. I sometimes even go just mutiling without banelings until there is like critical masses of marines, just because the tanks with proper focus fire, I just feel like there's not much that I can do, you know?
Yeah, now the Zerglings are going to be even worse. And the fact that the tank's in range of the hatch is so nice because he gets to kill that as well.
Very, very nice.
Very nice. Those queens coming off creep. There's really not a lot of banelings here. If he can target down the banes, the marines and the hellbats will kill everything else.
Yeah,
Just get the
and
bane.
he has been very good at that, but he doesn't have very many marines, so it's a little bit risky for him to do that.
Oh well.
And the queens tanked a lot of the tank shots.
Killing the 4th was still worth it.
Yeah, I would say so.
He got enough damage done for what he's lost in this push. Being on even economy with the Zerg is always a good position for a Terran.
Yeah, larva-wise, he hasn't missed much at all, so even though he's had some queens up at the front, he still has a little bit of larva to work with. That said, he has no queen. Actually, he doesn't have any larva injects going on right now, so he's gonna start running a little bit drier on that front.
Uh-oh! Not a wall, mate.
Not a wall, mate.
Might. The Zergling's getting some serious work done now. There's not a lot of marines here. And he's trying to micro this attack on the other side. He cancels the 4th again, but at what cost, cats? At what cost?
His 4th is also gonna get cancelled. Nice SCV pull here.
Okay. Hold on to it for now.
Gotta cancel that factory if possible. Nice job.
Finish your wall.
Yep.
That's one of those ones you can block with 2 depots on each side and like a bunker or an engineering bay in the middle.
A very close game. This potentially last game. We'll see if the Wonder Winch is able to pull it back. Only 3 banelings will be easy to pick off.
The baneling target fire.
Mr. Epic. I mean,
You need
has
so
not
many
much
banes.
better against like 20 banelings.
Yeah.
There's just 3. It's like, yeah. Osu.
It's one of those. It's one of those things that's easy to mess up, though. Like if you do mess it up, those 1 or 2 banelings that get through, like your push is erased.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed by it.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice to see the player's capacity to do it as well. Like some players are just very good at it. Epic, one of those players without a doubt.
And this is a huge moment right now because I don't think that there's an attack opportunity for TLO, but you really want to shut down this 4th the Terran is taking before it turns into a planetary.
Yeah, there is a timing window here that he needs. And look at Epic
There's
pushing
no creep.
out.
The creep isn't anywhere near where this fight could end up being, and that's as bad as it could possibly get for the Zerg. Loses a baneling on the way up, and like, why would you attack up this ramp as Epic? There's no reason to. Just pull back. You're not on creep. He can't do anything about your 4th.
And exactly, secures the 4th, which is the more important point that you were trying to stress on, right? I think that moving out on creep, it makes it so that that attack is negated from TLO. And now there's a planetary at the 4th, and Epic's gotta be feeling pretty good. TLO took the other 4th this time around, as he maybe recognizes the potential with these tanks. And how good Epic has been at that kind of sieging throughout this entire series, or double series at this point.
It's forced to lift off here. That one medevac, very low.
Close. Okay, good angling there.
That's terrifying. Go home.
So,
Go home! Fix the medevac!
Yeah, there we go. Or?
Oh? Really do?
I don't think so.
I mean
this
I don't
medevac is
hate
so
a big
useless,
push.
right? Yeah.
Look how little creep there is outside that 4th base. That he could push. He has to be careful still, but oh.
Yeah, a lot of these medevacs are actually kind of low. The Marine's not fully unloaded, but again, TLO is attacking off of creep. Yeah, it's so difficult. Yeah. I feel like this has been his kryptonite throughout this entire series, attacking a lot of creep. Most of the engagements have been off creep, and Epic has been happy to take them.
Yeah, that's also just a huge credit to Epic, who has been phenomenal at stopping the creep spread too. He's killed quite a few tumors this game. And talk to Dario, down to 3 bases once again. 3 base Zerg versus 4 base Terran.
It is difficult. It's looking very, very difficult for Dr. Dario. He's making Vipers. This time around, at least, there is the 3 tanks and a lot of medevacs, so there's more utility to be gained out of these Vipers. I would love to see a Hail Mary or something like get Burrow and try to get some incredible Baneling detonations, because that's the kind of thing that you really need.
I agree.
To try to equalize a game that's...
He's already going into Ghosts.
Yeah. But Epic, very diligent with his scans. This is a nice fan for TLO, but he just let him go in. Okay. Oh, very nice spread for Epic as well. It's going to make it costly no matter what. Now, that said, you can't spread too thin because otherwise the Hydras will be able to engage without the Banelings onto smaller clumps of units.
He's ready to try and force it here, bringing the tanks closer and closer onto the creep, making sure to scan and get rid of the tumors, but you do have to wait for the creep to go away.
Yeah, getting a little bit too excited here. I think he can wait a couple of seconds longer.
He's giving Dario a chance, is all I'm going to say, but the pre-split is beautiful. There's the blinding cloud onto the tanks. The Lings and the Banes are going to try to come down. A lot of the Banelings getting choked up behind the Hydralisks, but Epic spread so wide with those Marines and still holding on as his next wave of reinforcements coming back. Now those tanks are staggered very far back, so TLO is going to continue to bleed out quite a bit as he continues to move off creep now.
Wow.
And the next wave of Marines is going to arrive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much I like this big of a spread from Epic, given that TLO is going for Hydras. If this was Mutaling Bane or something like that, I think I'd prefer the bigger spreads. But because it's Hydras, a lot of what TLO is doing is just engaging with his entire army against smaller portions of the army of Epic, which makes it so that TLO can actually trade with those Hydras. That said, the problem for TLO is not that engagement, which I think went well for him all in all, but rather the fact that he's 2 bases behind nowadays.
Yeah, that's the real kicker. If TLO could take a fight like that and he had this base mining during that, like if he had been able to sneak it earlier,
Yeah.
then we're looking at a completely different ball game. But he is significantly far behind, and Epic is going to transition into advanced ballistics. So those Liberators are going to have the insane siege range, and that is really going to complement those double tank production.
That is absolutely nasty, and the Liberators, I think, are a perfect choice against the army composition that TLO is going for right now, right? Like, Liberators normally not that great against Mutaling Bane because they overkill Lings and Banelings and don't fare too well against Mutas. But against the likes of Hydras, they're going to be great zoning tools and make it a little bit more costly for TLO to engage onto his smaller clumps of units. So kind of accounts for that. Very nice flank from TLO, though. He's going to be able to clear this out well, I think, despite being 50 supply behind or so.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a pretty good arc on him. Those 3/3 upgrades doing wonders for Epic as his reinforcements show up to help this, but getting pushed back is where those Liberators become ace, though, really helping to soften those Hydras, and it gives the reinforcements just a little bit more staying power on this parade push. GG is called. Epic is going to get out of Group B in second place. 2-0, Dr. Dario. Very well done.
Very, very well done. Absolutely beautiful engagements by TLO, those last two, but unfortunately, too little, too late, as Epic was very strong in settling his position with those initial pushes.
Great micro. And his attacks started, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
Yep. So that was pretty great. That was pretty epic. I mean, unexpected for many, but rising stars.
So we have Neeb and Epic getting out of Group B. We're going to take another look. Here were today's matches. Now, Neeb, we expect him to do very well. Did bleed a little bit to Dr. Dario in the winner's match. But Epic, narrow series against TLO. Could have actually won that one, I feel. Narrow series against Cuddle Bear. Took first blood, but came back strong in the decider. And now he will move on with Neeb to fight on in WCS America Challenger. Really awesome, really great result for him, as this is a player that we've been talking up. He's at that, he's right up there. We talk about him with Future.
Yeah.
And I think that Future has kind of created a little bit of separation, but maybe this is Epic saying, hey, I'm not that far behind.
Or at all.
Or at all.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic display. I think most people would favor TLO even over Future right now, right? It's perception-wise, I would say it's
for sure.
pretty close. So, well done. And I think that was the last game of the day.
Yeah. That's right. So tomorrow we're going to be going into Group C for Capricious, and that is going to be an amazing set of games of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. We're going to be live tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. Pacific for Europe, and then we'll be going all the way through that group and the NA group again afterwards. Don't worry, though. I know what you're thinking, but Nate, there's no preseason football on Sunday. We're live then, too. You're going to have something to watch all weekend long, okay? We're here for you. We love you. This has been WCS Challenger America, Group B. We will see you all bright and early tomorrow. Have a great night.